Hello, Oracles. Well, Tesla was green, but all of the indices were red, so we're going to don the red for this video, but tomorrow we will have green on for the Tesla video. So there is a crash coming, most likely, but I don't think it's going to be in the stock market. I do think we are going to see a pullback. I think we're still going to be on quite a roller coaster ride in the stock market, at least for the next 8 months, rest of this year, maybe longer. I mean, when the Fed is raising interest rates, it just leads to a lot of uncertainty, especially with inflation as high as it is. We are going to be up and down for the rest of the year at least. And then looking into next year, we still have the interest rates going up. So we're going to have to feel it out. This is going to be a step-by-step process, little by little, very little long-term viewing at this point because there is so much uncertainty. One thing that I do see crashing soon is the housing market. Now, I know we don't usually talk about that on here very much, but seeing as I'm looking to be buying a house soon, looking at how the interest rates are going up as quickly as they're going up, usually the interest rates follow the 10-year treasury bonds, and that has been going up quite rapidly, and interest rates for mortgages have been going up right behind with it. Now, normally, when the interest rates go up, for every percent that the interest rates go up for mortgages, housing prices come down 10%. That has not happened yet. We are still going up in both sections. So I'm seeing the housing market crashing probably soon-ish. I don't know when, but eventually people are going to get tired of spending the amount of money that's out there, and they're just going to wait. And so looking at it myself as a buyer and a soon-to-be real estate agent, there is not a lot on the market right now. The houses that are on the market are either extremely high priced or it's like junk houses that nobody really wants to buy. So the market right now, there's not much out there. Now, how this affects the stock market is when people stop buying houses and they spend money there, they're either going to spend money elsewhere, like in the stock market, or put their money into bonds, because people want to invest their money in something, and in a high inflation environment, they're not going to want to keep it in cash. So they're going to need to put it somewhere. Where is that place going to be? Is it going to be in stocks? Is it going to be in bonds? Is it going to be in crypto? We have yet to see. The last time this happened in 2008, 2009, crypto didn't really exist, at least not as it does right now. So is that going to be the safe haven for people to put their money? Don't know. Maybe people are going to put their money into gold. So there's a lot of different places that the money can potentially go when it comes to when the housing market comes down. But if the housing market comes down and crashes like it could potentially do in the next year or two, what's going to happen? Are we also going to see a recession? Because a recession is also on the table of possibilities. We have Bloomberg giving a recession a 27% chance of happening. We have other people giving a potentially 40% chance of a recession happening. So the numbers coming out of the banks tend to lead us towards a recession not happening due to the fact that consumer spending is still on the rise. When consumers are still spending money, that means the GDP is still growing, and in order to get a recession, it is 2 quarters back to back of a negative GDP. Based on consumer spending, we don't see that happening. But if the housing market crashes, we might end up seeing that happen anyway because consumer spending might slow down when that happens. Still a lot of different factors along the way to follow to get to that point. So again, going back to what we had talked about at the beginning of the year, be agile. You don't want to have a ton of cash sitting on the side. Some people do. I know Slim is sitting there with a ton of cash waiting for the market to crash. But, if you have a lot of cash, you don't want to do it for a long period of time because inflation is as high as it is. Just because of all the uncertainty, dollar cost averaging in, having cash flow options is honestly the best. So if you have real estate that gives you cash flow generation, that's phenomenal. Having jobs and a side hustle to have that cash flow generation, that's phenomenal. because what's going to happen in a recession is everything is going to come down, and that could lead to a lot of job loss, and that could be a lot of less spending that's going on. When that happens, a lot of times prices come way down on a lot of things. So if you have cash flow generation coming in to be able to take advantage of prices crashing down on everything, you are going to do so much better coming out of this. Think about how we've talked about this year with a depressed market where it is, and we're not running up as we had been the last couple of years. Fortunes are born during a bear market. We're in sort of a place where we may still be a little inflated, but we definitely hit a correction. Those are the times that you want to buy. If we do end up getting to a recession, that's going to pull everything down as well. Definitely another great time to buy. And you could be buying in stocks, real estate. I mean, that's really a great time to buy. It's not a great time to be in because a recession is just bad for everything. But if you have the cash flow generation, that is when you are going to want to buy. Think about the last time we had the Great Recession. Anybody who bought real estate, stocks, anything really at that time was an amazing buy. And everybody who bought during those times did extremely well during the 10 years afterwards. So this is potentially a direction that we are heading in the market. Again, still a lot of information we need to go through. Consumer spending leads us in one direction. Housing market information leads us in the other. Which way are we actually going to go? We still have yet to see, so I want to make sure I am prepared to be able to handle whatever happens coming at us when that hits us. And so far for me, my strategy in the market has been working, saving the cash up and investing a little bit with dollar cost averaging as the market dips a little bit here and there. I am saving cash on the side to purchase a house as well. So I do have my cash reserves, but the majority of my cash reserves is either in an IRA or in my bank account, and it's not a lot, and I don't intend on it being there for really more than 6 months. Depending on how the market goes, I do not want to buy a house in the market right now unless I find the exact perfect deal for myself. So I do want to buy to get that cash flow generation, but I'm not just going to buy anything. So I've got that cash on the side waiting for that moment, and I'm just kind of feeling things out. And then I have my side hustles with Beachbody, YouTube here. I have my full-time job. I'm going to be getting my real estate license for more money on the side, because regardless of whether we get into a housing market crash or not, having a real estate license is going to be beneficial, because if the market does crash, people are going to be selling their houses and then others are going to be buying. So I want to be ready for that as well. So I'm just setting myself up for a lot of different options depending on what happens in the market, in the stock market, in the housing market, just being ready for whatever comes our way. And all of that is what I mean by being agile. Being an agile investor is, being on top of the market, but having a lot of different options depending on which way the market moves, that is being an agile investor. Let me know in the comments below, how do you feel about the housing market? And if it crashes, do you think that is going to cause a recession on top of it? Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all of the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. Thank you so much. Have a great one.